Hey, everybody. Musha the Scribe, sending all light, love, and healing energy to the celestial beings of the cosmos. This video here will be entitled Spiritual Systems. All right. As you learn over time how the chakras work, how the mudras work, how rituals work, how energies work, how the zodiac works, natal charts, also known as birth charts, crystals, and everything to do with consciousness and spirituality, you will find that there are a lot of different spiritual systems that can assist you with your learning and practices. For example, you have voodoo.
It doesn't work.
All right, give me a second. I got you. Voodoo, houdon, no, voodoo, hoodoo, voodoo, Gnosticism, Kemetic sciences, alchemy, Taoism, um, different native beliefs such as Cherokee beliefs. Um, there are so many. Some people base theirs off of some of the Greek mythologies and spiritual systems. The Lima. There are countless different spiritual systems, that assist with learning and practice when it comes to these things. And I feel like it's all about understanding as well, because for the most part, these mystery schools and all these spiritual systems and these different orders, some are used by the elite every day. You have, and some are used by civilians. You got the Masons, the Freemasons, the OTO, the Order of the Golden Dawn, Skull and Bones, etc. At the end of the day, they're all using a spiritual system that they can understand on that gives them understanding of how things work on a cosmic level and on a level of intellect. That's all it is. It's different spiritual systems to provide you with information that other people don't have. That's what makes a mystery school. When you attend a mystery school and people who are abducted in what we call the Illuminati and things like that, these are people that are learning spiritual systems um, that give them the power to control masses, other beings, manipulate nature, and things like that, either in a benevolent or malevolent way. That's all it is. They're choosing a spiritual system that gives them understanding and information to where they can control shit. All right. And you can either do this, in a positive or negative manner. It's just bad because a lot of the people who have this information are using it in a malevolent way, in a low vibrational way, because they want rulership over a place and over people that don't belong to them. But as celestial beings of the cosmos, we have the ability to overstand all of this same information. It just makes it easier when you can find which spiritual system you resonate with, that you can overstand, and now you can begin to practice all of these things, and it will bring you more information to where you can become on the same accord as nature. You can get on the same vibe as the cosmos. You understand how things work, so you can cause things to be or not to be or not to be. Yeah, once you have an overstanding. So a good one that a lot of people practice is, a few of them, the more common, I should say, are different forms of masonry, different forms of Kemetic sciences. A lot of our brothers and sisters, strongly still relate to Kemet, Kemet, Nubia, Egypt, Ethiopian doctrines, and things of that nature. So these are common when people are working with like Ma'at, Osiris, Horus, Ra, etc. And then you get underneath of that, you have the science of the Kemetic sciences underneath of that. Personally, I use a mixture of Shinto, Taoism, and Kemetic sciences on a daily. Um, Shinto is when you do things to stay on the accord with nature. You do things to stay on the vibrations of the cosmos. And um, Shinto means way of the gods. Um, Kami, staying in accord with the celestial beings, the natural celestial beings. And like in Shinto, the Amaterasu is the equivalent to the sun. That's why a lot of the times, I stress the fact that Japan went through some shit with America over that information because, like I said, when you have a certain amount of information, you can stop things from happening and cause things to happen. They had ancient information given by the Nagas, and all Japanese people aren't the same. They are different races of beings over there. Everybody likes to put them in one shell, but they aren't. You have the Ainu, you have the Jamon, and a few other races over there. And the more like relating it, if y'all ever seen the anime Samurai Champloo, everybody was wondering why the main character in there is a black samurai named Mugen. And he's from Ryukyu. He do all this breakdancing and shit. Um, Tatted up and everything out there getting busy. And that's because, that area of Japan, it's islands. That's where, modern terms, that's where the niggas was at. Ryukyu. So, they treated him different and things like that. And that's based off of real life. We've already spoke about the samurai. We've already got into that. So I don't even have to explain that again. But their systems and the Kemetic systems mirror each other. Even the way that when you write kanji, how kanji is written in the rows, and the way it's positioned in red is the same as the hieroglyphs. It's just different understanding for a different area, but it was the same people at one point in time. So that's just a little slight explanation on Shinto practices. Taoism, excuse me, also relates to a lot of the Egyptian what they would call magic. And magic is when you have enough information to cause change in something. Um, Say I wanted to light an incense. My magic tool, I'm going to use this lighter because it causes fire. Once I put the fire to the incense, now it's burning. That was my will and intent in my mind, and I made it physical. That's the basics of magic right there. That's the most basic way I can explain it in a process for real. So once you can find out your spiritual system, it could be if you're more into what they call a Native American or indigenous American setup, as far as talismans and runes, um, you relate more to the beings named in those different doctrines and explanations. That's cool. If you resonate more with the Egyptian pantheon, that's cool. If you relate more to the South African or West African pantheon, it's fine. The Japanese pantheon as well, that's fine. It's all on what you resonate with well and where you can learn more from. Because I'm telling you, like with the Lima, y'all know I used to deal with a lot of the Thelemites and everything. I know a lot of their doctrine. Theirs is based, a high amount of it is based on the Egyptian mystery schools and things. But once you start moving up the ladder, it changes from like Egyptian to some ancient European things and some other West African and things. And then you also have, while I'm on the subject of the African pantheon, you have like the Dogon tribe. They have a vast amount of knowledge on how beings of what could I call it, like water beings work, the Dogon. They deal with the nomos and the knowledge they receive from the nomos. So they have different information on how things are met. And like when you first start out, I would definitely say choose some type of spiritual system just to get you started so you can learn about energy, beings, um, different planetary bodies and history and thing. But eventually you want to let the goal is to learn all of them. You find the correlations between each one. You find out who is who, what is what energy is what energy, across the board, and you connect everything. That will put you on the level that these beings that are running shit are on. That's all it's about. Because as we said, a lot of things have been separated due to different languages. A lot of information has been lost and misconstrued because of language and the breaking down of cultures. All cultures are not the same. All races are not the same. But some of these races predative genetic code is the same as ours. The modern time versions, that's something else. But the farther back that you go, the closer to home you're gonna get. And that's why like everybody's ancient knowledge is like that. And touching on the Shinto again, the elite of the United States dropped 2 nukes on them niggas for real because they were still practicing Shinto over there. And they had to get that up out of here. Like you can't when it comes to these elite, they have to be able to control what they feel they need to control to keep people in line, to keep the world in line, to keep their order going for real. So, with that being said, if you still have a bunch of people who are practicing the ancient ways and know the ways around this reincarnation system and different things like that, what y'all think they was going to do? They got them out of here. So, they dropped 2 nukes on them. There's nowhere you can go online that'll tell you exactly why they just decided to drop these 2 nukes on them, but that's why they did it. These people were still practicing Shinto. Hiroshima, hero is another word for Heru, Horus, of the Egyptian pantheon. Nagasaki, Nagas, the black serpent beings, the black beings with the serpent wisdom. Nagasaki. It all, like I said earlier, the correlations between them. Like once you get the correlations down, you'll understand what the hell is really happening. And it's a bad thing because we're ran by malevolent beings over here who rather just smoke shit rather than let people be free and be them. But yeah, this is spiritual systems. If you want to know a little bit more, go ahead and comment down below, and I can even refer you to where to get started, based on what type of being you are for real. It breaks down to your soul and your personality when choosing which spiritual system to start with. Because, like I told you, eventually that spider web I always talk about. One is going to connect to the other. The other is going to connect to the other. Next thing you know, you're going to be multicultured in all types of pantheons. You're going to have so much information. And that's how it goes for real. It's like a forever spider web, and everything is always connected. You just have to root out the bullshit from the real. And the older I found, like the farther back you can go, the better a lot of the time. All these things connect. Buddhism is in there as well. You have a lot of different ones, but they're all connected. So I'll explain this a little bit more later. Y'all let me know anything I need to touch on. I know we hitting about 14 minutes here, so I'll go ahead and cut it off there. But sending all light, love, and healing energy to all the celestial beings of the cosmos. Mad love.